Hey, muchachos! Welcome back to Cállate, Let Me Finish. So, hoy we're talking about something that impacts you even if you're a mom, a tia, a brother, a son. Today we're talking about loss. So, welcome to Querido Septiembre.
So the word of the week this week is
Recuerdo, which means memory. And I actually wrote the definition for this one. That little place in your heart donde guardamos pedacitos de la gente we loved. Sometimes it hits like a smile, otra veces como una lágrima, pero siempre nos recuerda que lo que fue still lives inside of us. So
that is recuerdo. All right, so talking about recuerdos, let's get into who Manuel Flores is for you. I know this is going to bring up a lot of recuerdos for you.
Yes, it is. So I think it was important to talk about him just because he was a big part of my life. And of course, we're in September and I really wanted to talk about him. I did get permission from his sister because obviously I want to have that respect towards them to make sure that this is okay. So Manuel Flores, he was known as Pinky. Some people knew him as Pinky. And he was known to my family as Zancudo because he had skinny little legs. So that's what my family would call him. Manuel was my first love. We met when I was in 8th grade. So
what?
Yeah. I was in 8th grade. He was in high school already. He was a freshman in high school. And it's funny the way we met because remember back in the day when you were able to ride the bus home with a friend with just a letter signed by your parents?
And sometimes you would just forge it.
Yes. And you would give it to the bus driver and the bus driver would be like, yes, go ahead and get on. So he would ride the bus home with his friend. En el mismo bus que el mío. So his friend was actually the one tratando de pretendiéndome.
And you ended up with Manuel.
But the thing is that his friend was kind of an asshole to me. But that's how guys showed their like for you back in the day, I guess. I don't know if it's like that still. But I didn't really like his friend. So then Manuel would come into the picture and he'd try to like buffer things out. But I think I started talking more to Manuel and then we started to like each other. And he had a conversation with his friend. It was like, hey, I kind of like her, blah, blah, blah. We ended up being boyfriend and girlfriend. Funny enough is that we talked for a while. I remember the day that he asked me to be his girlfriend. Porque we wrote it down and it was November 14th. That was the day he asked me to be his girlfriend. And he was my first boyfriend ever.
Because you were in middle school.
Yeah, he was my chambelán and he was like the first boyfriend que toda mi familia conoció. Like my mom, my dad. My dad was so mad because everybody already knew that I had a boyfriend except for him. And he was so mad and that's why he started calling him Zancudo. And then he met my abuelita, mis tíos. Like any family function, he would come and my family loved him. I mean, we were 14, 15 years old when we first started dating.
Puppy love.
Yes. And he would ride the bus home with us. And then he would walk from, do you know where that big gym, Anytime Fitness right there on 92? So I lived right across the street from there.
Yeah.
He would walk from there all the way to Baptist Church, the big church.
Oh my God.
He would ride the bus home with me. And then he would walk home. Every day. Like Monday through Friday. Isn't that crazy? Like, I think I drive through those streets sometimes and I'm like, how did he do that?
That's kind of hard.
That's a hike. And then he would call me when he would get home because obviously back in the day, we didn't have cell phones like we do now. But he would call me when he would get home and he would tell me, oh, like this lady saw me and she would give me a ride and stuff like that. He was just like so friendly. Everybody that knew him just loved him.
So so you talked about how you guys met. What did he teach you?
I guess he taught me more about myself. Not only that, but also like because I mean, we were so young, right? So you're like learning how to express yourself and stuff, how to show love in different ways, which is crazy to say because it's like you were 14 years old, you know? Like I was 14, he was 15. But it's just so crazy that even at that young age, he was just teaching me all these things on what a man is supposed to do for you. No, he like set that foundation of what a boyfriend is supposed to be like, right? Pero I will say that obviously at that age, who isn't toxic with each other? I mean, there's people that make it from like high school sweethearts and then they get married, but yes, exactly. But we were so freaking toxic with each other. That we dated from middle school, 8th grade until freaking I graduated high school, but it was always, like, on and off
Oh, okay. So
all
it
the
was that kind
time.
of
It
relationship.
was that kind of relationship, and I don't know if it was because of our age or I don't know, I feel like we met each other very
I mean, it is based off age, and also, I mean, it's technically he was your first boyfriend, right?
mhm.
So it kind of makes sense. You're learning who you are. You're
Yes.
you're still in school, and that was pretty young to have a boyfriend.
It
I
is.
didn't have like my real boyfriend till 16, so it is
Yes.
a big I think age gap, and just I don't know. We don't know how to be girlfriends or boyfriends, and
No, we don't.
we're just mean to each other.
We are, and, like, things that I don't wanna show him that I care, and then I guess he would be feeling the same way.
But you wouldn't be able to, like, tell each other.
Express it,
Yeah,
but, like,
yeah.
we did love each other, but obviously we were very toxic towards each other. Not only that, I saw that is when I started doing a lot of bad things.
Yeah.
So, I think mentally and inside of me, I loved him, but, like, for me, I was just going through so much at the time that I think we were just going through it. We were just at, like, different parts of our lives that
Yeah.
like, I talked about the whole thing. I didn't know I was illegal until that at that
At
point
that point,
in my
yeah.
life, and then I stopped caring about school and stuff. Obviously, I cared about him, but there was just so much going inside of me that I just don't think that
I think it's normal at that age, like, with being, a girlfriend and a boyfriend so young. I mean, I feel like it's bound to happen.
oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Freaking tóxicos, right? So, fast forward a couple of years after, on and off and stuff like that. He ended up moving schools. I don't know if it was because of me. I don't know. But he ended up moving schools, so we weren't going to the same school. Somehow, we ended up in the same no. He ended up in a grade below me because he was going through some shit, I was going through some shit. We were just doing bad shit. Not together, separately.
Separately, yeah.
Eventually, I got my shit together, obviously, and I got this opportunity to go to school and get a scholarship. Anyways, I remember the last time I talked to him because throughout all of middle school and high school, I worked at La Parrilla. So I remember that last day. It was like a week before I was gonna leave to school. He came to see me at La Parrilla, and I asked him. I still remember this. So he was driving at the time, and he had came and picked me up at work. And I had asked him, or I had told him, I was like, hey, just tell me you want me to stay. Like, just if you could just tell me to stay, I'm going to stay. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to do it for you. At that time, we were still trying to figure out each other. He
Yeah.
was still trying to finish school. I was on my way to college, and he told me that I'm going to cry. He told me that he didn't want me to put my life on hold for
For
him.
him.
Because he's like, I know you have like aspirations and dreams and stuff. I can't ask you to stay and ruin your whole life for me. Me being the toxic that I am, in my head, I'm like, he
Doesn't
doesn't
mean
fucking love me anymore.
Yeah, he doesn't want
So I ended up leaving on bad terms with him. I was really pissed off, and I had found out some stuff about him that really upset me. So I was really pissed off at him. So I ended up leaving, and I was really far from home. And I remember a couple of weeks went by when I got to school and stuff, and he messaged me and he was like, hey, how are you doing? And instead of, obviously, I was pissed off at him.
Yeah.
So I was not very nice to him and pretty much told him to, like, fuck off. But at that point, yo no sabía lo que iba a pasar.
How
So
long was this before you, like, he passed?
I think I left in July, and then he reached out to me sometime in like August. So it was like right away that he reached out. He didn't wait that much. And then he ended up passing in September.
September. So that was your last messages with him.
Yeah.
He messaged you and you were not that nice to him.
Yeah. I was not nice to him. And I remember when they came to tell me that he had passed,
Who told you?
my tia. My tia had came to see me, and she was like, hey, Manuel passed. And I was like, the first thing that came to my head, I have a tío named Manuel. So I was like, oh my gosh,
Your uncle.
mi tío,
Yeah.
like, what happened to him? Like, I cannot believe.
Yeah.
And she held my hand, and she was like, no, like, tú, Manuel. I think I was in shock. I didn't cry immediately. I was like, there's no way. Like, there's no fucking way. Like, he just messaged me last week. How is that possible? There's no way.
Yeah.
I was in denial. I was in so much denial. And then came the fucking guilt because of the last message I had talked to him. So I carried that around so much. And I feel awful about it. Pero yo no sabía que obviamente iba a pasar eso.
Yeah.
But in my head, I always replay if I could have just been nice, if I could have just been honest with him and be like, come see me, come see me in school. Come, I miss you. Like, let's work this out. But I didn't. I was like, dude, I was very mean to him. And God, I carried so much fucking guilt. And I still do, especially Septiembre. Like, he passed in Septiembre and his birthday's September 29th. It's just a hard fucking month for me. And
So he passed before his birthday?
yeah, he was about to be 20 years old.
Oh my God.
He was really young. And
So like right now it's the 26th. Like what day was it? Is it right now?
no, the 29th is his birthday.
But when did he pass?
What, September 10th, I think it was.
Oh yeah, because you said he messaged you in August, which is like a week ago.
Mhm,
Okay, so
mhm.
very early in September.
Yeah, very early in
Oh,
September.
so already passed.
Yeah.
His
So his
anniversary passed already.
yeah, so as old as Ethan, almost. Poquito más.
He's been gone for 14 years.
14 years, dude. 14 years.
That's crazy.
And it still feels like it just happened. Not only that, I think after he passed, I went through depression really bad. Not only that, I was not home. I was away from my family, away from everybody.
And you couldn't even attend his funeral.
I could not attend his funeral. And I think that's another thing that
Oh my
eats
God,
me
yeah.
alive too. And I remember when that happened, I fucking shut off completely. Like, I shut off my family. I shut off everybody. I remember people trying to reach out to me because we had dated for so long that everybody always knew, like, Reina Manuel, Reina
Yeah.
Manuel. That when he passed, I had so many people messaging me, and I think it was really overwhelming. I think the only person that I talked to was my mom, just to let her know I was okay.
Yeah.
But obviously I was not okay. That was like one of the lowest points in my life that I went through because I carried so much fucking guilt, and not being close to my family really affected me too. And then not being able to be there and say goodbye,
Oh,
it was hard. I went through some dark times sola because I started drinking so much to the point where I just didn't care. I didn't care anymore. I was like, you know what? He's gone. Fuck, I want to be gone too. But this is going to sound crazy and so creepy. I remember one night I drank so much that I fell asleep and I had a dream about him. Like, we were at a house party. It's so crazy to like say this because I'm not crazy, but this is what really happened. We were at a house party and there was like a bunch of people at the house
Mhm.
party. I saw him talking to one of my friends. Can't remember. I think it was Jackie. And they were conversating. Jackie le preguntó a Manuel. She was like, hey, what about Reina? How is she doing? And then I heard him tell her and look at me and say, she's gonna be okay. That was so hard. I was like, I'm gonna be okay. Like, I have to dig myself out of this hole. And that's when I told my parents that I wanted to come home.
Yeah. He was telling you that you need to like
Get your shit together.
Reina, and get up
Yeah.
and stop dwelling on that.
Yeah.
He was pretty much watching out for you because he didn't want you to end up like that.
Yeah. So that's when I had a conversation with Mom, and I was like, I just don't want to continue doing this, and I just want to be able to come home. I needed my family. I wanted to talk to his mom. I wanted to, come see him, porque lo enterraron and stuff. So I ended up coming home in November. I remember I met up with his mom. I met up with his sister and stuff. And I think eventually I started healing poquito a poquito, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's gonna take time.
oh, yeah, and that's another thing, dude. Like, I feel like grief is still, is there even a timeline for it? Porque imagínate ya cuánto tiempo lleva that I
Yeah.
can't even talk about him without actually fucking crying.
Yeah.
I can't. He was
I
such
don't
a big part of my life.
Yeah, I don't think grief has a timeline. It's just it hurts a little less. I feel like every year, but it's always gonna be there, I think.
I know.
Because you care for him so much. So
I cared for him so much. And I go back to the same thing that we were so young and so stupid that we didn't know how to express our feelings to each other. And I think if we would have learned that, I think things would have been different. But esa es otra cosa. You always replay. You're like, if things could have been different, if we could have done this, if we could have done that. But, it just happens. And what's crazy is that when I got pregnant with Ethan, I went to the doctor. I didn't find out I was pregnant with Ethan until I was like 3 months pregnant with him. So when I went to the doctor, and you're never going to believe what his due date was.
his birthday, September 29th.
No, November 14th.
That's when you guys met.
That's when he asked me to be
When
his
he asked you to be
girlfriend.
his girlfriend.
Isn't that wild?
That's weird.
Isn't that crazy?
And when was Ethan born?
He was born November 17th.
Oh.
But when I went to the doctor, they told me my due date was gonna be November 14th.
Oh.
And I don't know. I just
You get little signs of him.
yes, yes. And it's
Yeah.
like things like que es un regalo de él in a way because I had no reason. Like I had no fucking motivation to do shit. Obviously, I got pregnant right after I got back from school, but that's crazy. I was like, that's a regalo for me.
Yeah, that's like another sign.
Like another
Keep
reason.
going.
Yes, that's why I'm like, oh, he's just such a big part in my life. Not to talk about him. He was just such an amazing person. Y luego, obviously, I wasn't able to be here for his entierro and stuff, but I heard there was so many people there. So many people there.
Personally, didn't know him, but I did know of him. And I heard when he passed, I did know that he was very friendly. He had a lot of friends.
He did.
I know that he was friends with Amaris too, in a way that she knew him somehow. And she was also very affected by it. And I heard that she did also go to, I think her and Chris went to his funeral. And I was just like, oh my God. Like, I didn't know that you were that close to him.
Oh my
I
gosh,
didn't know.
So actually, he dated Amaris, which is funny because he dated Amaris for a little bit while me and him were like back and forth with each other. But I remember seeing pictures of him and Amaris, and I would be like, oh, like that's so nice that
He's moving on.
he's moving on. Not only that, there was other girls that he would date, right? But there was something about Amaris that when I saw pictures of her, I genuinely cared for him to be happy with her. And now we know each other and we actually have cried about him together. And I remember the first time we went out with Amaris. Was it the first time? I can't remember.
I think it was. You guys were like going back. Well, that was my bad. No, that was.
It was so funny because she would introduce me to other people. She would be like, we love the same guy. And I was
You guys were tipsy already. You guys were drinking at some point. Yeah.
she was like, we were in love with the same guy. And I was like, Amaris, don't be telling people that.
I remember that. I don't even know where we were when that happened, but I was like, what?
That one time she stayed over for my birthday. Remember, she was
the
one
pool?
of the at the
Yeah.
pool. We talked about him and
Yeah,
I
you
feel
guys
like we
can
share
feel
that.
together.
Porque
Yeah.
I feel like when you lose somebody like that, no eres su mamá, no eres su hermana. Like, so obviously su dolor es más grande, pero like we still have dolor. But like, who do you relate to at that point?
Yeah, at that point.
Like
yeah.
me and her would know what we feel because yes, no es mi hermano, no es mi hijo, no es mi
It
primo,
was
but
someone
like,
you guys deeply loved and
yes.
cared for.
So I think me and her have had so many
That's
conversations
so crazy
about him.
how it just all comes together, and then because obviously you didn't know Amaris until like you knew her through me, but obviously you knew of her through the
Yes.
photos with Manuel. But the fact that me and her are like really, really close friends,
Isn't
like
that
she's my
crazy?
best friend, and now I'm best friends with you two now, and you guys are just kind of healing each other in a way.
I
Just talking about
know.
him.
I remember the first time we had dinner together. I was like, oh my gosh, Amaris is here. I mean, like, no teníamos nada que pelear. Like, even back then, I don't think we ever
No.
did. But I feel like, in a way, like you said, like healing each other. We can relate on a certain
Yeah.
level that I don't think people understand.
Yeah, I think that's nice.
I know. But that time we went out, she was like, we love the same man. And I was
Yeah.
like, girl, why are you telling people that? That sounds so weird when they don't know the story. And I don't want to tell them the story right now.
Yeah, no, let's not go there.
But it's just so crazy how he had an impact on so many people. Like I said, he was very close to my family. After we broke up and my mom got pregnant with my little brother and stuff, he would come and see her all the time. Bring her
Aw.
de comer. And when my brother was born, when Isai was born, he actually came to the hospital and he sat there with us until he was born. And
Aw.
my mom's like, get out of the room, get out of the room, because like the baby was coming. I mean,
Mom's
like, my
like-
mom's like, I do not want Manuel in here. So he was there when Isai was born.
What?
Yes, he was just such a big part of our lives. He was such a big part of our lives. La gente siempre me pregunta, like, would you be with him? And I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, honestly.
I feel like he's one of your, like for you, he was your first love, and you just had to experience him and learn things with him to get you to where you are right now. I mean, I'm sure deep inside I'm sure you would want him to be your forever person, but some people are just meant to be with us for seasons
I
and then
know.
to teach you something,
I know.
you know?
No.
Because
Yeah,
things happen for a reason.
they do.
Only God knows why that happens. And I'm just like glad that you got to meet him and that you got to experience him.
I know. Me too. And every year, because obviously I only have like the same pictures porque we didn't have technology like we do
We don't
now.
have good ass cameras in our phones and stuff.
No. So I only have like the same pictures I have of him. And every year on his birthday, I asked his sister to send me a picture of him. Like una foto que yo no tenga. So
Yeah.
like, I think last year she sent pictures of
Craig.
just makes me so sad. And then I'm drinking.
Yeah, just mix alcohol into that. Just,
Figures.
it's okay. You're healing. You're like, just feel it.
Yeah. Just sent me pictures of him when he was a baby.
Aw.
It's just like pictures that I didn't get to see,
Yeah.
So it's just so sweet that she does that for me.
Every year?
Yeah, on his
Aw.
birthday. And it's just, I want to see different pictures of him. Sometimes I feel so bad that I don't remember like the sound of his voice because we didn't get to. I experienced this freaking technology back then. So I think I have like one video of him donde he planned. It's like my favorite recuerdo de él, where he planned like this surprise. I think it's when he first started driving. He finally had gotten his license, and he asked my mom if he could take me to downtown Atlanta to see the lights, el árbol que ponen allá abajo,
For
and
Christmas?
take ice skating. So I remember, I think at that point I had already gotten like a camera, like the big bad boy cameras. So I took it down there, and I think I have like I don't have a video of him talking, but like we're recording,
And you can hear him.
and I can hear his voice. So that's just like one of the. I like replay that video just to remember his voice and his laugh and stuff like that. So I have that, and it's like one of my favorite things. And I think that was like one of the last times we ever like hung out
Wow.
like that.
It's just so tough. I can't even imagine losing someone like that.
It's hard because
Mm-mm.
piensas que no te afectaría tanto because he's not like a family member, but
And also because you guys were not together, but he was your person at that point.
yeah,
in that
he
moment.
was. He was. It was really hard.
What songs remind you of him?
I think his last favorite song that he had. Do you remember Promise by Romeo Santos and Usher? So that was his favorite song right before he passed.
And so every time you
Oh my
listen to
God.
that-
I honestly, I have it as my favorite song, but I cannot listen to it.
Aw.
I just want to have it there because it was his favorite song. But can I listen? Can I sit through that song?
Without
Absolutely
crying?
not. Absolutely not. I cannot sit through it. That was his favorite song right before he passed. And then la de Abrazado a ti by Kevin Carl.
Carl.
Carl. I said I
Corral?
like said it 20 times. I'm like,
Carl. Kevin Carl.
Yes.
Abrázame, dice.
Abrazado a
Oh,
ti.
abrazado a ti.
That one. That's another one. Now that one I can sit through. That one I can sit
Yeah,
through.
but the Usher one and the oh no.
I think that one, because that was his favorite last song, I cannot listen to it. I went to his house after I got back home. I went to his house, and his mom let me go down to his room. God, that was hard. And then I have his favorite book, his last favorite book. I still have it.
Which one is it?
Kite Runner.
Didn't you read that in school?
I don't think I ever did.
Sounds familiar.
That-
You have it?
I have it. His mom let me have it because that was his favorite last book he had. And she said I could have it, and I still have it. And I read it. That's a good book. So I think grieving in a Mexican family, I don't know how it's been for you, but for me, it's a little different.
Well, I haven't really had to experience losses like that close.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm like, I feel like I can't relate, but I don't think I would ever want to relate or feel that pain.
Yeah.
Because I've lost my two grandparents, my grandfathers,
De tu mamá y de tu papá.
abuelitos, both sides. So my grandpa from my dad's side, I never got to meet him. He died before I was born. And then my mom's dad, I did grow up with him up until I came here at 7.
Mm-hmm.
He died while he was in Mexico and I was here. So I was pretty young. I was
Yeah.
maybe I want to say 9 or 10 when he died. And at that point, I had been here a couple of years. So ya tenía rato que no lo veía.
Mhm.
And then when he passed, I couldn't go back
Yeah.
to Mexico. My mom couldn't go back. So she experienced what you kind of
Yeah.
experienced because you were at school and you couldn't like visit him. Well, she was here and my grandpa was in Mexico and she couldn't because I think she had just had my sister.
Yeah.
So she couldn't leave the country. But it did hurt. I was like, my grandpa, I did cry. But other than that, I haven't had to go through that pain,
Yeah.
you know? So I don't know how I would grieve that. I feel like, in a sense, it's kind of like for you, your pain feels to me like a breakup, but obviously worse. And I already, like, when I went through that breakup with my situationship, like, that shit hurt. And I did cry, and I just can't fathom, like, having to go through that pain, but 10 times more if I were to lose somebody like that.
I know.
That I know that I can't see him again
I
or listen to him
know.
again. Like, I don't even want to think about that. So I don't know how, like, you guys will grieve. I don't know how to go through grief because I
Right.
haven't gone through the grief of somebody dying like that to me.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I told you this. I had a sister. Well, I didn't like I did have a sister and she passed away and la matriz de mi mamá, like who
But,
like
like, stillborn?
it was like a stillborn. So I remember sitting at and I was little. I think I was maybe in elementary or middle school, having to go to the doctor and translate that for my mom.
Wait, so you were here when that happened?
Yeah. So we obviously my mom knew that there was something happening.
Yeah.
So I remember going to the doctor and then they couldn't find
A
her
heartbeat.
heartbeat. So obviously my mom knew. She saw the facial expressions of
Of the
the
doctors.
doctors and stuff. But for me to have to translate that to her
Oh my God, as a little kid?
as a little kid, that was hard. But gosh, and the only reason I'm bringing this up is because I don't think like it happened and it happened so fast and we were able to move on. I think it happened. She was about to give birth to her. We had her crib. We had everything.
Oh,
for
wait,
her.
so she wasn't just like a few weeks along, like the baby, like
Yeah.
it was grown. Like,
Yes.
how far along was she?
Want to say 8 months. We had everything ready for her. So
That's crazy.
like it happened. We got rid of all her stuff and then like we moved on. Like we don't even talk about her. We don't talk about it.
I just realized that's what I did. I had a miscarriage. Did I
Mhm.
tell you?
I remember this right before the twins.
Right before the twins. But obviously mine, I was like a couple of weeks. I was supposed to be 13 weeks, but the baby stopped growing at 10, which I feel like that's different because I wasn't like your mom,
Mhm.
fully prepared.
Uh-huh.
And it still hit me.
Of course.
And I remember I did cry. Like, I was down for a couple of weeks, I'm gonna say. But just like your mom, like, I just like I had to keep going. I had to get back because I
Yeah.
have Layla. I don't remember ever having to go through like the grief process like that.
Yeah.
Like, I just immediately,
It's like a click.
like, yeah, I just went straight back into mom mode.
Yeah.
Like,
And I
now that
think
you
that
mentioned that you're like that you guys
yeah.
like you didn't have to like I didn't either,
Yeah.
and I don't know why.
I don't know why either. And that's how it is though. Like that's how it is in my family. We don't talk about our feelings. We kind of just like we're sad and then boom, like
Back to normal.
back to normal. And I don't ever I know her name was Leslie and
Aw, she
but
put the name.
we don't talk about her.
Did you guys bury her?
We did.
So she's got like a place you can go
Mhm.
visit and stuff.
But we don't I don't even yo no sé, like I don't know if they do. I know I have never gone. It's just like things like that like we don't talk about. It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
It's
Then I
so
didn't think
weird.
about that.
Yeah.
That had totally. So for me, I just try to blot things out.
Yeah.
You
And I
know?
think that's how it was
I
for
numb
her.
it because I don't want to like. I mean, I already know that I have like all these anxiety problems and depression that I went through with Lila. Like, I feel like for me, it's just I numb it so I don't get deeper in the hole, and I don't talk about it like that with anybody.
Isn't that weird?
That's weird. Why do we do that?
I don't know. I don't know why we
Is
do
that
that.
normal?
Is that normal, guys? I mean, do people talk about that stuff? Porque I know my family know. Like recently, my mom lost a brother and she wasn't able to go to Mexico, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
and bury him, but I did. She was obviously very sad, but I went. When I got back home, I don't think we talked about it. Like we knew it happened, like we were sad that it happened,
But
but we don't we don't talk about it like, "Oh, like, how are you feeling today?
Yeah.
I know it's this hard." Like, it's such a weird subject. And then obviously I don't cry because I wanna be strong for
For
her.
her. Yeah.
And then last year we lost mi tia Jose, which she was like a grandma to me. I loved her. And when she passed, same thing. Like she passed, I went to Mexico, tuve que hacer la fuerte, like
Oh my
always,
God.
because my grandma was there. It's su hermana, so
Yeah.
I had to take care of my grandma, and I came back home, and we don't talk about it.
Crazy.
Isn't that weird? And obviously, I have a lot of pain because I was very close to those two people.
Yeah.
Like, Tio took care of me, and then mi tia Jose, she was like a grandma to me. I loved her so much. She would call me on my birthday every year, and I just don't know why we don't talk about it. It's the weirdest thing. But I don't know if that's how grief looks for everybody else. Like, do we not
I
talk
mean,
about
my
it?
mom went through that, so we lost my grandpa, and then a couple years after that, we lost my mom's brother, and that was like another person she couldn't go to the entierro, and I was obviously like I was hurt, I did
Yeah.
cry because that was my uncle, but también ya tenía muchos años que no lo veía,
Mhm.
but I think it obviously hit harder for my mom and my grandma because they're here
Yeah.
and they couldn't go back. But again, like he died, and I know that they like obviously felt it, but then they don't really talk about it.
Isn't that weird? But like, what is normal? Are we, do people talk about these kind of things?
That's a good question. Like, is that what do you guys?
How do you grieve?
How do you grieve? How do you go through that process?
I don't know.
I know that my mom, she probably got herself into her church and
Mhm.
praying. I know that they held like little prayer sessions in my mom's
Oh,
house.
yeah.
That was it.
So that's very interesting because obviously my husband being white, when my tia passed, they're very Catholic. So the way that they do when somebody passes,
Mhm.
your mom Catholic?
Yeah, she's very Catholic.
Okay, so they do like rezos like
Yeah.
every night for
Couple of days, I think.
it's like 9 days of rezos. So in Mexico, they let you have the body, like the body is in the home.
Oh yeah, yes.
For
What do they call it? Well, I mean, they call it rosario.
La velan
Los
como el
velan.
cuerpo. So you pretty much, the body comes home and they're in the coffin, and everybody comes to the house
For a
to
couple
say
of
like,
nights.
yes, no, well, for that first night. I
Oh.
was there for the first night, and they have the body there. Y todos vienen to say their goodbyes. I think café and pan are served,
Yeah.
and everybody just velan el cuerpo. They
Yeah.
just sit there with the cuerpo until the following day cuando los van a enterrar.
Yeah, I've never had to experience one porque
Yeah. Well, I thought that was so interesting because I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm a little bit miedosa. I'm so miedosa, and I'm supposed to respect la cultura, but I'm just like, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little scared. I'm not even kidding. So I think a way that we honor, and I know we've talked about this before with Dia de los Muertos, like I
Mhm.
said, we do set up, we were corrected. It's called an
Okay, so there's two parts.
Okay, uh-huh.
La ofrenda, right? Which is what you do.
Mm-hmm. No, lo que ofreces.
But I'm saying like it's like Halloween every
Uh-huh,
year.
uh-huh.
Yeah, that's la ofrenda.
Uh-huh.
Amaris corrected us and told us that when you put their photo of people that have passed, that's el altar. So that's how we keep their memory alive
Yes.
in our culture.
Yes.
Yes.
Because I don't know if you guys have watched Coco, but that's the only way that they can stay alive in the afterworld. You know
And
what's another
they're
movie?
allowed to come into our world, right? For 1 or 2 days.
So I don't know if you've ever watched The Book of Life.
I think I have.
I like that one too.
Is it a
Similar.
cartoon?
Yeah, it's a cartoon.
Thank
It's casi similar. It's about Mexican culture and stuff like that. Los altares and ofrendas and stuff. But that's what we do in our family. That we have our ar with like mis abuelitos, because I lost both of my grandparents. Like you said, I was so chiquita.
You don't remember?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
So my first true passing was, I think for me, it was Manuel. The one that I actually got to experience as an
Felt.
adult. Like as
Yeah.
an adult. So that one was one. Then mi tío Chuy passed away while I was in Puerto Rico. Gosh, that one was awful. He passed from COVID.
Oh my God.
Like right in the middle of COVID. So I think that Manuel's was like the one I'm so glad I was sola, because I actually got to like grieve him.
Yeah.
Really good, because I was by myself. I didn't have to be strong for anybody else.
Yeah. So now that we talked about the losses that you've had that hit close to home, and obviously the ones that I've had, I think it's time that we have family members and friends that shared some of the names of people that they've lost. So I think this is a good time to say the name and pay them respect and keep their memory alive. So let's start with you, Reina.
Manuel Flores, Victor Benitez.
Mm-hmm.
He was gone too soon too. Jesus Calvo, Augusto Avellaneda, Josefina Arzate, Leslie Calvo, and Tania Rivera.
Okay. And para mí, Fernando Rivera Flores, that was my grandpa from my mom's side. Felix Anaya Rodriguez, that is my grandpa from my dad's side. Marco Antonio Rivera Olvera, that's my mom's brother. And then Clotilde de la Cruz, which is Fernando's great grandma, who recently, like, she passed. Yeah, that's the one that Levi was crying about. And obviously, the miscarriage that I had that I never knew if it was a boy or a girl. Never got to know that. But yeah, that was it for me. So if you lost someone, you're not alone. The pain is valid. I feel like it's never going to go away. You grieve differently. Everybody grieves differently. And grief doesn't have a timeline.
It doesn't. And grief can actually just be a kind of love that just lives inside of all of us and trying to remember your loved ones.
Yeah.
So we would love to hear recuerdos that you have from family members, friends, loved ones that have passed away. Because like we said, this is a big part of who we are and how it's shaped you to become the person you are today. I guess that's all the time we have for today. Thank you guys as always. Calladitas, but never finished. Bye.